Ladies and gentlemen, hailing from Cleveland, Ohio, I give you BVO.
Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know. Shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know. Every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BVO, bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know. I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show. This is BVO.
On behalf of BVO Sports TV, we would like to thank our sponsor, Raycon, makers of the Raycon Everyday Earbuds, the perfect model for premium sound with active noise cancellation to block out distractions and transparency mode to keep you aware of your surroundings. They are the ideal for your everyday needs. Just visit RayconGlobal.com. That's RayconGlobal.com and elevate your listening experience. Welcome to BVO Sports TV. In association with Brent Wade Holdings, the content you're about to see includes opinions, stories, and discussions created for entertainment purposes only. The views expressed do not reflect the official policy or position of BVO Sports TV or Brent Wade Holdings, LLC. Viewers and listeners are encouraged to think critically and form their own opinions.
Strike, red lightning! Give power to my Mega Sword!
This is a sick Negro.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy BBO Sports TV. We back another video. We back. Hey, this is it's me and my Puerto Rican brother. And shout out to my man Mark making an appearance. You know how we do it, man. It's the Roll with the Punches podcast, and we about to get started. I'm about to cam up. Give me 1 second, trying to get everything set up on my end. But we got to talk about this tree. Devin Black Jesus Haney is going to fight the WBA two-division champion Rolando Romero. What do you think about that, man? How excited are you about that fight?
Oh, I mean, it's good for Devin. I mean, unify. I mean, it's really nobody else to fight at that division but the other champions. So, I mean, that's what he needs to be pushing for. He needs to be pushing for unification and try to get undisputed because there's really nobody else at that division to actually fight outside of the champions, and unless he want to fight Ryan. But other than that, there's really nobody else at that division to fight. So I shouldn't expect him to fight anybody else but the champion.
What you think about this, Mark? Devin Miles Haney going after another champion. What you think about this?
I mean, salute to everybody on the panel. I mean, this is what Devin Haney has always done. He's always gone after the other best fighters in his division. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not surprised by that at all. But not only that, I mean, Ryan Garcia and Mario Barrios are tied up. So why not make the Rolly Romero fight? I mean, Rolly Romero just came off of beating Ryan Garcia. So that's a really good opponent for Dev in terms of name value. On top of the fact, I mean, that's a big fight in terms of money. You know, he's still got one fight left with Turkey. I think he has 14 or 15 million dollars left on the deal. So, you know, go ahead, get your bag and get yourself another belt and re-up. Go fight by fight with Turkey.
And let me ask you guys both this. Sorry, I'm trying to get something so I can get on camera. What do you guys think about? I heard one of Tank's greatest supporters, and what she said was, if you fight Rolly, you get no credit. And she also said, if you fight Mario Barrios, you get no credit. So I don't know this young lady personally. What do you think would make her say something like that?
Who said it?
A young lady on YouTube who does content. She basically said, you get no credit for fighting Rolly. You get no credit for fighting Mario Barrios, but Tank gets credit, but you don't. saying that
Well,
towards Devin.
I know why they said that. They said that because when Tank was fighting those individuals, they said those guys was nobody. They were bums. They wasn't that good. Um, and so if you're saying that they were bums, they wasn't that good with Tank for them, why should you expect to get credit for you fighting them? So I know why she said what she said. Um, but you gotta. I mean, I can't hold her against what she said because she's going based off of what came out of Devin and Bill Haney's mouth. They said those guys were bums. They wasn't that good. So
Hmm.
why should you want credit for somebody that you said was a bum and wasn't that good? And this is what I always say: when you start downplaying these fighters, and then when it's your turn for you to fight them, or if you're a fan, you downplay these fighters, and then your favorite fighter goes to fight these guys, you can't expect credit for them if you downplay these guys. That's why I said it's not good for the fans to downplay these fighters, and it's not good for the fighters to downplay them because you never know when that person's going to be across the ring from your favorite fighter or from you. So I mean, I can't knock her for what she said because she's going by according to what Bill and Devin said.
Yeah, I guess my only question be is that her opinion was he should fight Conor Ben and then Boots, not even try to unify at 147. You agree with that?
No, I don't agree with that because I can't tell another fighter what his goals is. His goals is whatever it is. Now, if he goes to a division that really don't have nobody as the champions, it's not his fault. Those are the champions. He didn't give them the belt. They got the belt on their own, or the sanctioning body elevated these guys to be champions. So that's not his fault. He can only fight whoever the champions are when he's at that division. So if that's his goal to be undisputed in a second weight class, and those are the champions, then those are the champions. It's the same thing that we said about Bud Crawford. Yes, Bud Crawford is a great fighter. It's
Hmm.
not his fault that the level of talent wasn't very good. But we could see the talent that he has is not his fault. It's the same thing when it comes to Devin fighting these guys that's champions. It's not his fault that those champions are not guys that we would expect to be a champion, but they are the champions.
And I just say that, and I respect this young lady. I just didn't understand, like, it's like her whole thing was to kind of tear Devin down, and it's like, why? After his greatest win, do you want to go and tear him down? Oh no, let me just get some of these comments real quick before I let my man Mark cook on this. So to my brother Eric Brooks, always in the comments showing love, said Rolly is trash, but he's placed in the top contender and has a belt. Good option for Haney. Salute to my brother Marcus showing love. Salute to my Uncle Curtis showing love early. Salute to Crush. Salute to my brother K Savoy. He said, plus these guys have belts now. What you think about it, Marky Dan? What you got on that?
I mean, that's her opinion. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's whatever she thinks about the fighters, and I mean, I agree with Free. I can't really blame her for having that opinion, but I look at it differently. I mean, Mario Barrios is somebody we just watched. To me, I thought, I mean, he got a draw against Pacquiao. To me, I thought Pacquiao could have got that decision personally. And then Rolly Romero, I mean, if we really being honest, I'm not sure how good or how proven Rolly is yet. Because the Ryan we saw was somebody who spent a
Salute
year
C
out of the
Mills.
ring. Excuse me?
No, I'm saying my bad saying salute to C Mills. Salute to my brother C Mills.
Yeah, salute to everybody in the chat. But the Ryan Garcia we saw in that ring spent a year outside the ring
Mm-hmm.
and did not have his PEDs. He wasn't on Ostarine, which he was just in a recent interview saying that it helped him, but it wasn't steroids. Those are his own words. And then, I mean, before that, we saw Rolly getting hands and feet put on him by Pitbull, and then he got saved by against Barroso by Tony Weeks. So I look at it differently. I would think she's saying that because those dudes are not that good. Just when you talk about like proven and seasoned champions like like a Araslandy Lara or like a Baturbiev or like you know that
Yeah.
that's not really fair. It's not really fair because I
Super.
give Abdullah all this credit and I give him all this credibility if somebody were to beat him, but that's why I think she would say that. I don't
I
really
think you
know. I
sane
didn't
though,
hear this
Mark.
person, so I don't have the
Yeah.
context.
Salute to my brother Chill Will in the house showing love. This is my brother Pittsburgh. I see you been talking to Showtime son, call me BB Otis. But I'll say this, man. I think a lot of people are like this young lady that just love to say something about Devin. I've heard it all when it comes to Devin. Oh, I don't like his dad. I don't like his grandma. I don't like this or that. But at the end of the day, Bill Haney is from Detroit, man. I know he got East Oakland roots, but his family's from Detroit. So I'm gonna go with the Midwest all day. But I'm gonna say this: to have a Tank fan, it's like it's funny because they almost make no sense. So because of whatever reason, now you're saying Devin got to fight Conor Ben or he got to fight Boots, but he can't unify. Is that because Tank has never unified? And I don't understand how, like, when Devin do something great, why does Tank's name always have to come up with it? Him fighting Rolly Romero, especially with Rolly's new coach, is great. I think that's great work, in my humble opinion. I think there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with wanting to see great fights. And I think no matter how they put it, I just think there's a lot of pickle pulling going on. And I tell you this, I've never in my life seen a fan base want credit for work that they didn't do. I give Tank credit for beating beating Mario Barrios and Rolando. I do. But we all know, hey, that doesn't stop the fact that Devin's trying to unify. I don't understand. We actually got a fighter who's trying to fight big fights. Why wouldn't you celebrate that? What would you guys say?
It all depends on how you look at the situation. Um, I wouldn't say it's a great fight or even a great accomplishment being though the person that's holding the belt. But I will say that it is an accomplishment. It is something that he accomplished. So I can't take credit away from the accomplishment. I could say the opponent could have been better, but that's not his fault. It's not his fault that the opponent wasn't better. But I can't take away the accomplishment. I will always give somebody credit for the accomplishment. Whether I believe that was a better opponent or that was the best opponent, that's my opinion. But as far as the accomplishment, I will always give a person credit for the accomplishment. Like I mean, it's plenty of fighters that I don't like, but I give them credit for the accomplishment. But like I said, I wouldn't say the Rolly Romero versus Devin is a great fight. I would say if Devin accomplished that second belt, I would say that's a accomplishment on his goal that he's trying to be a two-time undisputed champion. I would give him
Mhm.
credit for that because that's one of his goals. So you can only give a person credit for what their goal is. He said he wants to be undisputed, and he goes and fight. He goes and fight another champion. If the champion is daggone Blair Cobb or
Right.
Tiger Johnson or Jack Catterall, no, the opponent is not great, but he did accomplish his goal. So I gotta give him credit for accomplishing his goal.
Yeah, salute to my brother DP, man. Happy birthday, man. We still celebrating my man DP turned 71 yesterday. So shout out to DP, man. But I'll say this. I just don't understand it. And you know the thing, Free. I know my man Free try to be fair, but I think at some point we gotta be real, man. It's like a genuine hate for Devin where I mean the man just won a third belt at a third division. Like, how was there so much hate for that? And then I remember this a while back, you hear people say, "Oh, that fight." I don't know if you remember. They said that fight wasn't gonna happen. You remember that? They said, "Oh, that fight's not gonna happen. He's not gonna fight Brian Norman." Then he go in there and beat the mofo, and now he can get no credit for it. So it's just like I just say this, man, and I don't always want to just dwell on Devin. I just think that it's just a deep seated hate. I think people really, I think some people agree. Some people want to live like Tank. They want to put hands on women and hit women with pregnant women's cars and drive off and all that. They want to do that kind of stuff because how can you celebrate a man who's constantly in trouble with putting his hands on women? You can't tell me as a man you can support that. If you got daughters, how could you even support that? I mean, I could be wrong, but what are we talking about at this point? This is a constant dude. And you never hear nothing else about him. I don't hear about him going to school. I don't hear about him doing nothing else. But every time I hear something about Tank outside of the ring, it's about him putting his hands on women. This is not like, how do you defend him? What are we doing? Now, you could talk about Devin's restraining order. Anybody who's ever had issues with the mother of their children, that could easily happen. But just to always praise a guy who don't like you, he tell his fans all the time, shut up and be a fan. When have you ever really seen Tank sound kind or nice or appreciative of the position he's in? You don't see it. So I guess I don't get it. He been champion at 135 and hasn't even tried to unify. So my thing is this, Market Free. At this point, what are we even talking about anymore? You know what I mean?
I mean, respect. I do think, and I will agree. I do think with I'm not gonna paint the entire Tank fan base with a broad brush, but there is definitely a segment of them that it is some deep seated hate. Like, and even my girl Jab Queen, shout out to Jab Queen. After Devin put hands on Brian Norman, after all the talk she was talking for months, talking about asking questions like, is Snack gonna be a factor in this fight? Afterwards, she's talking about, shout out to Dev, good win. Am I gonna give Dev? Am I gonna what she say? Am I gonna give Dev his props? Probably not. And it's a lot of people that's just like that, and I really don't get it. Like, I don't think Dev has done anything. Like, okay, maybe Bill Haney. Yeah, Bill Haney has done some pretty disrespectful stuff. I can't even defend what he said to Brian Norman's mother. But Devin Haney himself, like, this kid's always in the gym, always shows up, always ready to make the big fights that people want to see. I can't think of a reason why you would hate the kid.
I mean, it's always going to be some hate when you have a person that is a fan of a fighter.
And let me say this real quick. I don't know what the hell Marky was saying. I was not talking about her in any way. I don't want nobody to go up here and say I'm talking about this young lady. I was not talking about her. I don't know what the hell Marcus is doing. We're not talking about any other YouTubers. This dude is a goofball. I wasn't even talking about, in no way was I talking about.
I didn't say you was talking about her.
I'm just saying it's just about how it looks. I want to be respectful to people. So forgive Mark, and that's on me. I gotta do a better job of vetting the people I have on my panel, because in no way are we ever talking about other YouTubers. I'm talking about a writer. But please forgive me for that statement. Forgive us all for that statement. That's not someone we talking about at all. So, and going forward, if we can't have people abide by that, we won't have them on the show anymore. So I'm sorry to Jab Queen. We admit no disrespect. I don't know what the hell Marcus is doing, but we moving on. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, but no, like I was saying, it's always going to be some hate towards other fighters when you have a fan base that's a fan of a fighter more so than they are of the sport. You're going to have it. So it's not. So I mean, you have the same thing when it comes to Tank Davis. Tank Davis can do some good things, and people will still always see something wrong. It goes for everybody. I mean, we've seen it with Abdullah Mason. We've seen it with Emiliano Vargas. We've seen it with Tiger Johnson. It doesn't matter what level of a fighter they are. You will always see some type of hate. They will find some type. I ain't gonna say hate. I would say they will find some type of criticism, or they will find something wrong with that situation, whatever it might be. They will find something wrong, and they don't want to give 100% credit. They're going to find something wrong without trying, so they won't seem like they're giving them too much credit. So it's always going to happen. It's not something you can get away from, because you have people that are fans of fighters instead of fan of the sport. When you have individuals that fan of the sport, they can give credit and give criticism straight down the middle. So I'm not gonna. I mean, I don't dwell on that because I know it comes with it comes with the job. It comes with the sport. It happens in basketball. It happens in football. It happens in baseball. It happens in every sport. It comes with it. And these fighters and these athletes got to know that. They got to know it comes with the sport. There's going to be some guys that's going to like you. There's going to be some guys that see you do nothing correct. It's just part of the job.
Yeah. Salute to my brother Bernard. He's in the house tonight. We're going to get to my man Bernard. But I got to bring this up before we go to brother Bernard. What do you guys think about a fight that we all hearing about? We hear Rolando going up against Devin. And I'm going to actually tell you guys, I'm worried about Rolly's power. I don't know if people are, but his power got me scared to death. What would you say, Coach, about fighting a guy like Rolly, who has immense power and is one of the best coaches in boxing? What would you say about that?
I think he could present a challenge. What I saw from Devin in his last fight against Brian Norman, I have to give him 100% respect. I have to give him 100% credit. He beat a quality fighter. He beat the fighter that 99% of the people thought was the best welterweight in the world. They thought he was the bigger puncher. I think when it comes to Rolly, I told you before he fought Ryan Garcia, I was one of the few people who was going with Rolly publicly. Said Rolly gonna beat him. And the reason I went with him is because he switched to Coach Silas. Coach Silas is a disciplinarian. Coach Silas is a X's and O's guy. And you're gonna do it his way. You're not gonna be able to freelance and hope that your talent can get you by. So I think they'll put together a great game plan to fight him. Will it be enough to beat Devin? Right now, I don't think so. I think what Devin did against Brian Norman, in my opinion, Devin is one of the top 5 fighters in the world. And I think Devin Haney wants to make every fight. And I just think what they're doing in the way that his dad is going about doing it, his dad is probably the best GM in boxing. And the reason I say that is because he puts the best team to be successful around his son every time. He doesn't have to take the accolades or be the head coach. He just puts the best team around. So I think with that being said, right now, to me, Devin, beforehand, I would have never said it. But at this point, I do have to compare Devin to Floyd. Not in financial, but in ability and what he's doing. I have to compare him to him. He is the guy right now that if he calls you and says, hey, I want to fight you, he's already showed he's not going to try and sweat you down and kill you. He's actually going to give you a level, stable fight. And I think much the way that Floyd Mayweather did, he's the guy that you get paid with. Just being honest with you. We saw Canelo lose, and we saw Earl Spence lose, and we've seen Tank at this point is not actively, on the map for fighting. So, in all honesty, you got to turn to Devin Haney as the cash cow right now. That's just a reality. It ain't whether you like him or not. It's reality.
That's a fact. Salute to my man Pop, always showing love. Appreciate you, Pop. Become a member, Pop. My brother Mike Grimm, man, become a member. And salute to Vacay Bay, showing love, already a member. But I'll say this. I just think with Rolly, I just think that power is a problem. And with his coach, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, Free. I just honestly can say there's a chance in this fight that there might be a knockdown. And I don't think it'll go Devin's way early. I think you have to let Rolly get some of that power off to really go after him. What would you say to that?
That's what everybody said about the Brian Norman fight. So I think Devin knows how to deal with guys with power. This ain't the first merry-go-round with Devin dealing with somebody with power. He's been in there with Linares. He's been in there with Brian Norman. He's been in there with Ryan. So this ain't his first go-around dealing with somebody with power. I think Rolly, I would say Rolly looked a lot better in that fight with Ryan Garcia, but you can only take that with a grain of salt because I've never thought that Ryan Garcia was the greatest boxer. I think Ryan Garcia is great in what he does. He has a devastating left hook and he has fast hands. I think he's great in what he does, but I never thought he was a great boxer. So
Mm.
you can only take that with a grain of salt. Rolly was able to get Ryan's respect early in that fight, and once he got that respect, he pretty much did what Devin did to Brian Norman. Devin got Brian Norman's respect early, and he just pretty much kept the lead, and he kept Ryan guessing on when was he going to throw that big shot again. So Ryan never really gave it his all because he didn't want to get knocked out, and he knew he had another fight waiting on the other end of that fight. So he didn't want to get knocked out, but he made Ryan do something Ryan wasn't intended on doing coming into that fight. So that's what I said. I take it with a grain of salt because that situation happened for that fight. That doesn't mean that Rolly's going to do that in every fight. We have to see Rolly do that on a consistent basis. We haven't seen that from Rolly on a consistent basis. So I got to look at that. Okay, that was that situation. How is he going to look in the next fight? Because we haven't seen him fight since then. So we don't know if that's what we're going to get from Rolly moving forward or if it was just that situation. So I take that with a grain of salt. But like I said, Devin's been in there with punches. So I don't think that is something that Devin is worried about because Rolly got power. What good is the power if you can't land the shot? You can have power all day long, but if you can't land that shot, that power is no good. So we'll see what happens when they get in the ring. But I think Devin is definitely smart enough to be able to maneuver throughout that fight the same way he did with the Brian Norman fight.
Yeah, I definitely agree with on some of what you said. Hey, Brother Bernard, if you could do me a favor, man, you shout out my brother DP, man. He from a hole in the wall town called Cincinnati. He just had his 65th birthday, man. Can you send him a happy birthday?
Man, happy birthday, good brother. Cincinnati, the home of the Bearcats, the home of where Kenya Martin and Melvin Levitt did their thing at, man. So I got to give them shout outs, man.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to Travis Kelce. He went to that hole in the wall school. Shout out to Travis Kelce.
Shout out to the AARP boys.
But let me say this real quick. Now, I gotta ask you this, Free, because you know Free is Mr. Consistent. Free don't change his mind. If Free said it once, it's law. But Free, when I said the same thing about Gary Antoine, I said we seen it one time. Can we see it again? You didn't say the same thing, but when I say when you tell me Gary Antoine's gonna be the same, what's not to say Rolly gonna be the same?
Well, the difference between Gary Antoine and Rolly is because I know Gary Antoine. I know what he does in the gym. I don't know what Rolly does in the gym. So I can't say that for Rolly. I could say that for Gary Antoine because I know what he does in the gym. I know he has boxing ability. Everybody that's ever been in the gym with Gary Antoine, they say, no, that dude can box. Mm-hmm. So there's a difference with Rolly and Gary Antoine. There's evidence of Gary Antoine. There's no evidence of Rolly.
You go, man. Go ahead, Mark. What you think about this?
Hey, man, let me say this. Let me say this about that, man. Rolly is with a coach. I agree with you on every point you made. But knowing Coach Silas, the way I know Coach Silas, that's why I went with Rolly against Ryan. He's the type of guy that he's not doing it for money. So if you ain't going to do it his way, which is by the book, the textbook, he's not going to fool with you. You got to think the first time you saw Rolly do it, he was a superior underdog. He said, I don't even think my promoter thought I could win. And he didn't beat Ryan on power. He outboxed him. And if you know Ryan from the amateurs and the pros, Ryan is a very adequate boxer. Can't take that his pedigree is adequate boxing. Devin's pedigree is adequate boxing. So when you look at that, I think what you saw from Rolly is a new version of Rolly that's always been in him, but nobody forced it. They never forced it to come out of him. Now he has a coach that's forcing it to come out of him in a gym full of champions.
That's a fact. Go ahead, Mark. I want you comment on this too. Go ahead, Mark.
What's the question?
So my question was, when you see this fight with Rolly and Devin, who do you see winning? Because for me, I feel like Rolly's going to be very, very dangerous in the beginning of the fight, and I think Devin will have to let some of that power get off of him before he put hands on him. But what do you think?
Who do I think it would be more skill in the fight? Hands down, Devin.
No, I'm talking about, do you think Devin will have to let some of that power get off of Rolly before he engage?
No, I think Devin Haney has the better jab. I think Dev could probably win rounds with just his jab alone if he's disciplined enough. He showed you that in the Brian Norman fight and in other fights. Yeah, I just see Devin Haney keeping this fight at the distance that he wants it to, and really just picking Rolly apart all night. I agree with Coach Hackett. But what he said, I do think Rolly has improved since he got to Ismail Salas. Even in that Pitbull Cruz fight, like yes, he did get hellaciously beat up, but you could see that Rolly was a better and more conventional boxer in that fight. Like, to me, he had a better jab. Like, he was moving, even if he wasn't moving side to side. He kept moving straight back, and that was one of the problems. And he didn't move his head. So I'm hoping that he's just continuing to improve on those little things. And with Ryan Garcia, he fought a very disciplined game plan where, to me, he didn't move his head too much, but he kept his left or his right hand up enough to block Ryan Garcia's left hook, and and that jab was active all night. So it was affecting Ryan a lot. So I do think Rolly's improved, but I don't think he has anything for Dev, and I think Dev doesn't really need to use power. I mean, he's shown you again in this last fight. He didn't use power that much. It was just occasionally Dev came with the right hand.
And speaking of that, another thing I wanted to ask you guys about, we seen a great performance by Abdullah Mason. Do you think it's fair or foul that you're hearing everybody say Abdullah Mason is overrated because Sam Notes kind of put hands on him early? What would you guys? We'll start with you, Coach. What you say about that?
I would say those fans haven't watched Abdullah Mason enough, because if you watch Abdullah Mason and you watch that fight, you know that Abdullah Mason wanted to prove something. You could tell by the way that he fought, he wanted to prove something. And Abdullah Mason fought a fight that he didn't have to fight. Abdullah Mason chose to fight on the inside because his jab was knocking Sam Noakes' head back the entire fight. He could have stayed on the outside, used his jab, and picked his shot. He chose to show people, hey, I can get down and dirty as well. I can fight on the inside as well. And Abdullah Mason proved to people that he had a chin, because the one thing that we kept hearing, oh, Sam Noakes can punch. Sam Noakes can punch. I don't know if Abdullah Mason gonna make it out of this fight because he can punch. Well, Sam Noakes hit him multiple times on the chin, and Abdullah Mason didn't look like he was phased at all. The only time I seen Abdullah Mason look like he was phased by anything was when Sam Noakes caught him with a body shot in the later rounds. He caught him with a nice body shot. I think it was like round 10. And Abdullah Mason looked like he was a little phased from that. But other than that, his chin looked perfectly fine. So, no, I think a lot of these people, like I said, they want to nitpick. They want to find something to not give a person credit on. So, I mean, I believe Abdullah Mason did something that he shouldn't have did, because he could have made that fight a lot easier. But he went in there to prove something, and he was fighting for a title fight for the first time in his career, and he was a little overzealous. But he did a heck of a job. I mean, there was, like I said, there was maybe 2 or 3 rounds that you could have said, okay, I gave this Sam Noakes. But Abdullah Mason was in that joint, making had that man looking bloody. Sam Noakes has never been beat up like that, especially on the inside. That was Sam Noakes' game, fighting on the inside. He's never been beat up like that on the inside. So I think a lot of people don't know who Sam Noakes is, and they haven't watched Abdullah Mason enough.
What would you say to that, Mark? Can you hear me?
I
You
can
hear
hear
me,
you. I
Mark?
don't know. I
Oh,
can hear you. I don't know what happened to Mark. He on
hey,
mute.
Coach, you there? Oh, I think
Yes,
Coach on the
sir.
call.
Yes, sir.
No, so what do you think about that? Did you hear the question?
Yeah, I think that
Okay.
I think Abdullah Mason, quite honestly, for his first 12-round fight, he fought that fight. I hate to say it, he fought it perfect. His first 12-rounder, he was going against a grown man in his prime. Abdullah Mason ain't even hit his prime yet. He ain't nowhere near his prime. But he knew his definitive attributes were better than Sam Noakes' definitive attributes. He was smart enough to use size when he knew that this may be a fight where I have to revert to boxing late in the fight. I look at what Jalil fought Pete Dobson.
Mm-hmm.
Jalil had 8 fights, period, and he's going into a 10-rounder. I said, Jalil, you got to put the first 7 in the bag because you don't know what your body's going to tell you on the back end.
Mm-hmm.
And for a young fighter going for his first one, I think he fought the way that Big Girl used to tell us when we were all young.
Mm-hmm.
Don't fight to win. Don't fight not to lose. And that's what Shawty did. He fought to win. He didn't fight not to lose.
What's that mean when you say fight not to lose? What's that mean?
If you ever see a fighter that fights so well, but everything is just 100% defensively and safe, and they want to say, I did enough to win. If you hear a fighter say, I think I did enough to win, and that's the first words out of his mouth when he gets the loss, he went in not to lose. He didn't go in to win.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be a person that said that about Devin a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
But this last fight, I saw Devin fight to win. I didn't see Devin run. Devin fought at close to mid-range. Close enough to be hit, but use his ability not to get hit and be able to counter. Where usually you see Devin fight at long range. I can't hit you, you can't hit me. I didn't see Devin attempt to tackle. A lot of times I thought he was the best linebacker. I saw him actually look for stuff. So to me, I just think that when we were told that young, that ultimately meant don't fight to hold something that you ain't got yet. I already got the win. I'm the favorite to win. So all I got to do is just make it to the last bell. No, fight like the other dude is the champion, and you got to take it from him. That's what fighting to win and not fighting not to lose.
So let me ask you guys this. This is something that kind of came across my desk late. What do you guys think about the WBO that said that they want to make a pathway for Anthony Joshua to become the champion and get a title shot? So do you think that means if Jake Paul, by some miracle, is able to beat AJ, he'll get a chance to fight Fabio Worley? Or what do you guys think that statement is from the WBO?
No, they said Anthony Joshua. They didn't say Jake Paul. They're doing it for Anthony Joshua, not Jake Paul. If it was for Jake Paul, then they would have had Jake Paul's name in it.
What if we beat him, Free? What if we beat him?
I understand what you're saying, but they didn't say Jake Paul. They said a pathway for Anthony Joshua. So that means if Anthony Joshua wins, they're going to put him in a shot with Fabio, not Jake Paul. So
don't get that confused, Coach. Don't get that confused. Don't get the statement confused. Listen here. If they put that out there, then when this fight is made, they're going to say the WBO is calling this an eliminator. So that means whoever wins that fight will get that championship fight. They just got to put it out there beforehand. The pathway is through an eliminator. This is the sweetest eliminator they can make for Anthony Joshua. If they make this an eliminator and Anthony Joshua get clipped, guess what the legal team for Jake Paul will do? They're going to say, I get a championship shot because you all said that this was an eliminator. Remember, they got to announce eliminators beforehand and let everybody love making these special belts.
Yeah, I mean he's gonna have to. His legal team gonna have to do that because They not looking to put Jake Paul in there with Fabio. They looking to put Anthony Joshua because they know it's more. Well, I ain't gonna say it's more money fight with Anthony Joshua because Jake Paul does
Salute
bring
to
a
niggas
crowd.
showing love.
Jake Paul does bring a
Yeah,
crowd. But
if they make it an eliminator, that means whoever wins the eliminator.
but that's if they make it a
If
limited. I don't
if
know if
I
they
was
make
a
it. I don't know.
heavyweight, if I
I
was
don't know if
one
they
of
make
them
it that way.
heavyweights, if I was one of them heavyweights ranked in the WBO and they actually did that, I would sue. I'm dead serious.
Why?
You
You
can't
let this
sue for
guy
that.
step over me? Yes, I can. Yes, I can. This dude has never been in the WBO
If you like
rankings.
giving away money, you'll sue, but you will not win. There's no way you would win. And then why would you sue for something that was done by the organizer, meaning the boxing organization? Because now you basically castrated yourself out of being in their rankings because they could drop you the very next day and say you weren't in our rankings.
Hey,
You got,
I'm gonna have a case for
you
mental
gotta,
anguish. All that y'all made me wait. I'm putting in all this work all these years. I'm paying
you
all
gotta
this money for these
understand. These
camps.
sanctioning bodies make their rules the way they make. They could say, "Well, Jake Paul is not ranked in our sanctioning body, but AJ is. That's why we made it for AJ, not Jake Paul."
They
I mean,
can't do an eliminate. They can't do an eliminator like that.
I
They
don't know
have
if
a
that's,
rule in there. No, they have a rule. They
That's
cannot
what
make
I'm
an
saying,
eliminator like
coach.
that.
but that's
They
the thing.
can't make an
Is they
eliminator
making
like that.
no? But what I'm saying is they making it eliminator, or they just saying we
No, the
making a
fight to the
pass?
eliminator. The fight to the eliminator. No.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
said,
What?
Yeah,
wow,
once
wow.
they mandate something in an eliminator, both fighters in the fight are the ones that can do the eliminator. The only way that changes is there is a weight class that's being fought in, and one of the two don't make the weight, then only the other guy can win the option to fight the champion. If the guy who didn't make weight wins the eliminator, he still doesn't get the opportunity.
Well, based off of that statement, and based off of what y'all just said, y'all just told me that it's an eliminator. That further lets me know Jake Paul is going to sleep that night. He's going to sleep for sure. He's going to sleep
I
for
would
sure.
agree.
Hold on, man. Jake from
He's going to
Cleveland,
sleep
man.
for sure.
He from Cleveland, man. Why are you saying this, man? He from Cleveland, man.
That's a fact.
But let me ask
Man,
you guys.
Joshua might mess around, put his hands down, and get hit on the chin, man. We've seen it before.
Yeah, he I hope he do. But let me ask you guys this.
He might.
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying he might.
But let me ask you guys, I don't know if y'all can see the screen, but we got one of the best fighters in the world, El General, Emiliano Vargas. What do you think about him pushing for this Gary Antoine fight? Can he stop Gary Antoine or need more time?
He can stop if he see him at the bus stop and ask him if he need a ride. That's the only way he can stop him. If Antoine hit, man, look here, bro. You know the Vargas. You know the Vargas people. You know I'm cool with the Vargas family. You know, but we gonna keep this shit understood, and we gonna keep this shit respectful. Antoine will stop that boy in less than 2.5 rounds.
No, we're talking about Emiliano Vargas. We're talking about Emiliano Vargas, coach. Did you hear me?
I know who you're talking about. I know who you're talking about. He will get stopped in 2.5 rounds.
But
Super, my brother,
there's a reason why Hitchens don't want to fight Antoine. There's a reason why he don't want to fight Antoine. Antoine told that man, "I beat you 4 times in the amateurs. You don't want to get your lick back." There's a reason why he don't want to fight him. And you think Emiliano Vargas is going to be Antoine? Man, Antoine is not playing with Emiliano Vargas. Emiliano Vargas has done nothing to say he's going to be Antoine. Nothing.
Look at him on his bag. I mean, he looking like
Fernando Vargas ain't gonna say that he wanted his son to fight him. Man, that'd be give back for the family. Don't forget, Gary Jones, who is the oldest brother, was the Olympic alternate because he lost to Fernando Vargas. So if you want to get that piece added to it, man, he might massacre that boy, man. You know, that'd be the first time you've seen a person graduate from law school in a boxing ring. Because he'll go to practicing law.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. Once Gary Antoine hit Emiliano Vargas with a clean shot, his father is going to jump on that rope and throw the towel in. He said, no, my son got a long career. He is not going to get beat up in this fight. He's going to throw that towel in. He's not going to let Emiliano get beat up.
He's never even been down, Free.
I don't care nothing about that. But he's been hit. And he will get hit constantly by Gary Antoine.
Do you see him on his bag? You see him on his bag, man?
I don't need to see him on his back. I know.
I said, do you see him hitting his bag?
That bag is doing less work than what Gary Antoine would ever do. That bag is just hanging there. Gary Antoine ain't gonna be hanging there. Gary Antoine gonna be throwing punches back.
So you think Gary Antoine would step to Emiliano in the middle of the ring like a man?
When have you seen Gary Antoine not step to somebody?
Versus El Rayo, where he outboxed El Rayo?
No, he has never not stepped to anybody.
I don't think he would make that mistake and do that. I don't think he would. I don't think Coach Gary let him do that.
He ain't gonna make no mistake. He gonna catch him with a right and a left, and Emiliano gonna go down. He ain't gonna make a mistake.
You act like Emiliano is just some run-of-the-mill fighter, man. He's a monster, dog. But I say,
man, that man, come on, man.
You gonna say the same thing about Emiliano Vargas that they saying about Brian Norman right now? He ain't had no experience. He wasn't ready with Antoine. He's still young in the game. They're gonna say the same thing about Emiliano Vargas. He get in there with Antoine.
Man, salute to my brother Pride. Salute to the genius of boxing, man. My brother Dank is in the building. But I'll say this. I will give you guys one caveat. I think Gary Antoine is more experienced. But do I think he is going to be able to handle the Mexican power? I don't know.
Man, he more everything. He more experienced. He's more powerful. He's more technique. He more dog. Man, Emiliano Vargas, that's my guy. But his last opponent looked like an NCAA basketball player. Come on, man. You gonna stop that, man. If his name was Emiliano Gonzalez, you would not know who the hell he was.
Oh my God.
You come on, man.
I see him at the Xander fight, punch a dude and his whole eye swell up.
Man, you better stop. You better cut it out, man. You better cut it out.
Serious.
Okay, all right.
The Antoine that you last seen and the Emiliano Vargas that you last seen, you think that Emiliano Vargas gonna do something with that Antoine?
No, he'll get stopped by that Antoine. I don't know if we'll see that Antoine again.
He'll get stopped by every version of Antoine. He'll get stopped by every version of Antoine. He'll get stopped by 9-year-old Antoine.
Prize, get into this, man. Get into this, Prize, get into this, man. These brothers going crazy. Because I
lost your
Vargas. Turn it down. I don't think Vargas is ready for that. I think Antoine will beat him up, and his daddy and them have to pull him off. Pull Antoine off the board.
Bartholomew. What about Bartholomew? Bartholomew gave Gary hell.
Well, you gonna cut this out.
Man.
First of all, Bartholomew is a 2-division champion. He's a seasoned vet. He will give Emiliano Vargas. He probably will beat Emiliano Vargas, to be honest with you. He probably will beat him. Bartholomew.
I rock with Emiliano free, but I don't think he's ready for that.
No. You never watched Rancis Bartholomew fight. You never watched the fight. You just saw the fight with Antoine. Rancis Bartholomew is a fighter. He's a fighter. He can fight from southpaw or orthodox. He has power in both hands. He's a fighter.
Man, hey, ask BVO, have you ever watched a college basketball game and that college game with the score was so out of hand at halftime that you turned it off? Have you ever did that?
I've done that.
If you watch that Bartholomew fight, it was over in round 6. So by round 3, you were turning it off. Please stop doing what you're doing. Like that fight went the distance and it was a split decision. That fight was over at halftime. and after the first 2 minutes of second half, they pulled all the stops. That's when Antoine ended the fight. Cut it out.
And I respect what you're saying, Coach. I'm just saying. We've seen him look human. He looked like his big brother last time. I don't know if he can do that again. Am I wrong to say that? He looked like his big brother last time. He straight out classed El Rayo. We only seen it one time. So you telling me Emiliano Vargas couldn't muster up a 2 or 3 punch combination and drop it?
You gonna see Emiliano Vargas see another side of
So
Antoine
y'all
that
said,
he
hold
has.
on, hold on. Y'all said he got no chance. Is that I want y'all on record saying that
Nah,
Emiliano has
I ain't
no
gonna
chance.
say. I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna say he
No
has no
chance.
chance.
No chance.
No chance.
He
No
has a
No
chance.
chance.
bunch of chance.
No chance. Unless hell froze over and the concession stand was serving tainted soda, then he has no chance.
That's
He has
wild.
no chance.
Hey,
I give him a bunch of chance. He can get lucky. That's about it.
get
He
lucky.
can't even get. He can't even get lucky. He hit Antoine on the chin. He might break his hand. He might break his
Coach
hand. Cut
brutal.
it out.
Coach brutal.
You said I know y'all ready to have the it is by 4 separate times tomorrow. But I'll say this. One thing I was thinking about when I seen this fight, you know, what Gary, what the Vargas is calling out Gary Antoine. Why is he the only one calling out Gary Antoine? That's the thing I wonder about, because I think y'all don't realize Gary Antoine is not 5'10". He's small.
Well,
And
I
I
mean,
think
he's the only one at 140 that got Kahuna.
nobody even mentions Gary Antoine's name anymore.
Because he is the true boogeyman. I told you.
He's not
A
the boogeyman
boogeyman is somebody
if
that
Fernando
nobody's
said we see
calling
something.
for. And
Well,
when people say this guy is a boogeyman, that guy is a boogeyman. No, these guys got people calling for them. Antoine is a true boogeyman. Nobody wants to get in the ring with Antoine. You said Emiliano Vargas. I still haven't seen Emiliano Vargas say he want to get in the ring with Antoine, but I take your
No,
word for it.
his father's been saying it. I'll send you the clip. His father's been saying it. His father's
Okay, his father. Emiliano Vargas didn't say I want to get in the ring with Antoine.
Well, so he got to say that before you believe him. I mean, I think his dad is the boss, right?
No, I gotta say it because his father, the boss, and once again, the love of that culture is that the matriarch kind of calls the shots. So Shawty's never gonna speak out of turn, but his father has the knowledge of the game at a different level, and he's not gonna put his son in a position where it doesn't make sense. But he's gonna lobby for things that make sense for their financial growth as well. So that's why I think you're not in it for him. But I just don't. I don't think they should do that kid like that. That kid got heart. That kid, one of the few that got a set of nuts. He willing to fight. But every puppy don't need to be in there with a dog.
They don't even say Gary's name, coach. I mean, you got to get a man some credit. They don't even say the man's name. I haven't heard Rich. I heard Rich Hitchens tell Gary Antoine, you got to get your name up. Like,
man,
what?
cut it out. Cut it out, man. Riches and Hitchens don't want no part of that. Remember, this is a lot of good conversations, but Riches and Hitchens and Eddie Hearns is the dude that'll give you what you want. If you want that unification, Eddie will give you what you want. And I'm sure that it ain't a numbers issue. They can make sure the money right. Man, that'll be destruction. Yeah, Hitchens is a good fighter. Hitchens showed a great chin. Hitchens has done a lot of good stuff. But you go in there with Antoine, Joe, that's a different animal. That's a different animal. That's a lion, but not the one you see at the zoo. The one you see in the wild. That one in the zoo, they bring their food to him. That one in the wild, he got to hunt every day. A lot of these dudes, man, they not hunters. They not hunters. Yeah. They good zoo animals, but they not hunters. We don't put a hunter after a zoo animal and think that zoo animal has a chance. He just got a pretty mane because they brush
him. He got a pretty mane because they brush him. Let me you rough, man. Shout out to Coach Bernard. But let me ask you guys this. So we seeing Xander get ready to fight a boss. And this has been something I heard. If Xander is successful and beats a boss, do you guys see Devin Haney trying to challenge Xander Zayas for those 2 belts? That's just something I heard in the mail.
I can't call that man a bum. That man is a champion. I can't call that man a bum.
Who called him a bum?
You said he about to fight who?
A boss.
Oh, I thought you said he about to fight a bum.
No, his name is
Abbas. No, Abbas.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
Oh, y'all thought I said a bum. Oh no, I said
I thought you said he about to fight a bum. I was like, hold on, I can't call that man a bum. He's a champion.
No, I wasn't saying that.
No, should Devin call out Xander Zayas?
if Xander beats a boss, should that be a fight that he try to go for?
I mean,
Don't make sense. It don't
yeah,
make sense.
why call out Landis Ayes when you got 3 belts right there that you can unify? I mean,
Man, even if you ain't had the 3 belts, that's about to be the hottest division in boxing when you get all of those guys that are going to come up to 47 then. Why would I leave 47? That don't make sense. I'm gonna leave money to go get less money? Come on, man.
Yeah, I mean it's not. I mean, I don't think that Devin versus Xander Zayas is a huge fight that people are calling for. I mean, he might make some decent money off of, but I don't think that that's a huge fight. If he was going to go up to 54, he need to go for the guy that just moved up to 54. If he's going to go up to 54 to fight anybody, he need to go. That's a huge fight. Him and Jerome Businis.
Hey, salute to my man. Was it Trish Tank? Salute to my brother,
But
man.
I don't think Devin's going to 54 right now. I think Devin's going to stay at that weight class.
What do you say? I gotta unsubscribe. This man calling him Black Jesus.
Yeah,
Hold on. I don't know why y'all trying to play like y'all never heard Devin called that. I think Prize the first one I heard say it. So I'm copying off Prize, man. So I don't know.
You definitely didn't hear me say that first. Don't throw me under the bus.
I'm a Christian, and I would never ever call anybody else Jesus. I would never ever call anybody else.
You know, we're supposed to be little Christ. We're supposed to be little Christ anyway. That's our
Man,
job.
shut up. Man, shut up. Shut up. Shut up, man.
Control
At some point, somebody got to just be the grandparent. Shut up. You're talking without sense. You're talking without sense, man. You're talking without sense. You're talking with no sense. You're talking without. You're talking with no sense, man. Man, your grandma would have broke a McDonald's plate on your head for that simpleness you say.
Yeah, I can't do it.
But,
man,
I actually have heard people say that, but nah, like I said, I'm a Christian. There's only one Jesus that I know, and I would never call nobody else that. Anybody else I see spell their name like that, their name is Jesus. It's not Jesus.
Jesus. Okay, well, I still call him Black Jesus. Is that better?
Shut up. Shut up.
You killed
Shut up. Shut up.
Let me ask y'all this, man. No, crazy, man. Let me ask you guys this. So speaking of that, I know people will see, we was having some fun with it, but if AJ, I think he'll probably stop Jake Paul, to be honest. So when he stopped Jake Paul, how much money do you think he'll probably give Worley to get that fight? I think he should give Worley like 10, 15 million and make that fight happen. What you guys think?
50.
50?
Yeah, 50. Look at the math. I'm just saying, look at the math. Look at the math. Mike Tyson made it.
WO.
That's what I'm saying. Mike Tyson made it easy 20. He made it easy 20. Tank was gonna get reports of 40 plus. So what you think Anthony Joshua gonna take 5 million? You gotta be crazy. Anthony Joshua already making the type of money. 5 million won't even get that man to go to the gym and ride past and unlock it for somebody else to drink.
Hold on. What was the question again? Because I might have heard it wrong. What was the question?
No, my question was, how much money do you think Eddie Hearn and Joshua will probably offer Fabio Worley? Because I think Joshua gonna stop Jake. How much money do you think he would offer Fabio Worley to make that fight? Because he played Prince Charles 5 million. I thought maybe 10, 15 million would be more than enough to make that fight.
Hell no.
First of all, it depends on who's making the fight. If it's Eddie Hearn making the fight, I don't know how much Eddie's going to offer. But if it's Turkey making the fight, then yeah, Fabio probably gets somewhere around 50.
Man, if Eddie make that fight, Fabio ain't even the most popular Fabio that the world knows. So we damn sure, man might get. If his highest check to date was 8 million, I got him getting 12 million, maybe 15. But they ain't going that deep on that joint. No, sir. Only way they can afford to do that joint is if they did it in Wembley Stadium.
Yeah, they might offer Fabio somewhere around like 6 or 7.
Yeah, they're not offering you going the most famous Fabio was the dude with long hair on the cover of novels back in the 80s. He's the most famous Fabio.
Right.
This Fabio, if you say Fabio, that's what people gonna think of. They gonna think of no boxer.
Yeah, Fabio gonna pray that person takes this fight because
Yeah,
if
you got to. He right.
Eddie Hearn put that fight on, he ain't getting no more than like 6 or 7. Eddie Hearn ain't put up no big money for Fabio. Now
But that
Anthony's
might be
gonna
a
get
big
his money.
check. But
Yeah,
that might be a big check for Fabio. That might be a big check for Fabio. If a dude
yeah,
usually making 2 and you send him to the point where he's seeing 8 to 11, man, that's life changing money. That's
Yeah,
life changing money.
he made like $3 million to fight Josh Parker. I'm just
Okay.
thinking that's a big fight because the winner, forget the winner, that fight can be in the UK for the you can make that the UK fight for the heavyweight championship again. That'd be a huge fight. I mean, because really Anthony Joshua was like the light skinned Frank Bruno. He's loved out there. And I think if he beats him, then the fight between him and Tyson Fury can finally happen, and we can see the WBO champion Tyson Fury versus 2-time champion it'll be 3 times if he wins. Anthony Joshua. I think that'd be great. I could be wrong, but I think that would be great, especially for some guys trying to, make some money. They seem like they all want to fight each other. So I mean, this is the best way to make some money. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I think this would be the best way to make some money because you got to have AJ. AJ's got to be involved because AJ could sell some tickets, man. When he got punched dead that last fight, and he just like felt like his battery died. I think he can beat Worley because Worley ain't like Triple D. Triple D can box. Fabio just punch, jab, punch, jab, right hand, jab, right hand. I mean, AJ should beat him dead. What would you guys say to that?
AJ do the same thing. They pretty much a mirror image of each other. AJ might be a little more flexible.
He got a little whip wop to him. AJ got a little whip wop to him.
I mean, they pretty much mirror image of each other. Neither one of them do anything in the ring particularly special. I think both of them got a big right hand, and they pretty much do the same thing. I think they're a mirror image of each other. I don't know who wins that fight because we've seen AJ coming in and get knocked out cold against Daniel Dubois. So I don't know who wins that fight, but I mean I think Fabio looked bad in a couple of fights. So I don't know. I think it's a 50-50 fight if AJ happens to make it to Fabio.
Ain't it crazy?
Oh my, go ahead. My bad, Coach. Go ahead.
Ain't it crazy? About a year and a half ago, we was trying to get Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder and see which man's career was going to be over because the loser was done. Ain't it crazy? This boxing is a hell of a thing, man. One day, boxing got goats at the top and the bottom. You the greatest of all time, or you the scapegoat? This shit crazy.
I mean, I just think if they want to give AJ the belt, I think the best way to do it is you got to pay for the belt from Worley because I don't think Worley's that good because Worley has said Caballero's name not one time. That don't bother you guys that he won't even say Caballero's name. Like we're talking about fighting. He wanted to fight Parker before we found out Parker was doing cocaine.
Well, I mean AJ is a bigger money fight. I mean, Fabio is not a champion, never been a champion. AJ is a 2-time champion, and AJ is a bigger money fight. So I would want to fight AJ over Caballero if it was up to me.
Hold on, Free. You said it's about being the best.
No, I'm looking at the situation where I don't get anything from either one of these guys. The only thing that I get is some praise. But when it comes to financial, the money is with AJ. I'm gonna get my biggest bag fighting AJ than I will with Kavalov. I'm gonna get my biggest bag.
Everything is about the money. You right, bruh. Everything is about the money. You go to work for the money. Nobody does this for fun. There's nobody with a job that says I go to work and I love it so much I would go for free. It's all for the money. So you go to work for the biggest check. Just like if you go to your job, VVO, and they paying you $70 an hour, but the truck dealer down the street will give you $100 an hour, where you going to work at?
Say it one more time.
If your job giving you $70 an hour to sell trucks, and the dealership down the street will give you $100 an hour to sell trucks, where you gonna sell trucks at?
Oh, where they pay the most.
So why would a fighter fight for anything other than who pays the most?
I just don't get this whole thing where he keeps saying he the best. This is what Fabio keeps saying, but he won't even say Fabio. He won't even say Caballero's name. That's all I'm saying, Coach.
But once again, you say you're the best truck salesman. Stay at the truck dealer that's giving you $70 an hour and prove you the best truck dealer. Don't go to the one that's gonna give you $100 an hour. See how that sounds stupid?
Yeah, I get exactly what you're saying. I get exactly what you're saying. I give you that.
You ain't gonna care if your legacy at that $50, that $70 an hour dealership put your picture up on the wall. You don't care about the legacy of what you did for that dealership. You care about the payment that the dealership gonna give you. The same with an athlete. You can hold the athletes to a standard that you don't even hold regular people to. The guy that work at McDonald's don't want to be known as the greatest fry guy if Burger King gonna pay him more.
All I can say is
Up in here. Good God Almighty.
all I can say, man, you're a wild boy. But
nah, you hate the truth.
But let me ask y'all this, man, because it's a light day of boxing. But let me ask you guys this. So speaking of, like what we were just talking about, Devin and Rolly, right? Is that a 60-40 fight or is that 50-50? Because I'll be honest, only thing I think Devin will have to worry about in that fight is the power only. Am I crazy to say that? That's all I see being even remotely the problem is just the power. Everything else, I think, truthfully, I think that it'll be easy work for Devin. I don't know if people agree with that. What you guys think? You hear me?
No, I hear you, brother. I don't think it'll be easy work for either one of them because they both bring different attributes to the table. But if I'm gonna be betting now, if that fight was made, I'm betting with Devin. I think Devin got the tools, the ability, and the natural size over Rolly to be able to absorb the power and to also be able to outbox him. Just with a mid-range distance fight. And what I saw in this last fight against a guy that roughly was the same size, he was able to mid-range distance fight. And if he can do that at mid-range distance fight, even the best Rolly can't make up his height and his length. So I do go with Devin as the favorite in that fight.
I go with Devin too. I think Coach, I think he'll do the same exact thing that he did to Brian to Rolly. I think he'll just beat him up that way.
I can go with you on that. I don't have no problem with that.
He probably just jab him, bust him up, beat him up, lump his eye, lump his face, and go ahead and unify. Why not?
Yeah,
I think if he lump him up, he gonna get him. I think that. Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I got it 70-30 Devin. I mean, what I saw from Rolly, if he's able to do that in a Devin fight, he has a chance. But I still believe that Devin is a much better boxer than Rolly. He's a much better boxer than Rolly. So I don't give Rolly a high probability of winning that fight. So I would say it's probably somewhere around 70-30, maybe 80-20 chance that Rolly wins that fight. But I'm right there with Prize. I believe that Devin is going to do a similar fight to what he did with Brian Norman. He's going to use his jab, fight when he can hit and not get hit, and still be in striking range. Rolly, the one thing that I haven't seen from Rolly, even though he did look good in the fight with Ryan, Rolly's ring IQ is not that great. His ring IQ is not that great. So we know Devin is well, I ain't gonna say we know. We believe Devin is much smarter than Rolly in the ring. So I would think Devin will be much smarter than Rolly that night. But I mean, anything can happen. in a fight, but I just don't give him a lot of probable of winning that fight, a higher probable of winning that fight.
Yeah, my man Josh said I want to see Wilder versus Jake. That'll probably be a good fight, but Wilder would be too serious and might mess around and knock Jake out. So I don't know. That's a good fight. But you know what? I'll take that back. Wilder is not the man he used to be. That probably would have been a good fight. But I'll say this. He said Devin knocks Rolly down Rolly more than once because Rolly will keep coming the exact same way and keep getting dropped. See, I don't see that with Rolly. I just think Rolly's a better fighter than he used to be. And I think with Coach Bullitt, people don't believe me when I say this. I think it was a mistake to be so much friends with him because it just kind of ruined how the fight should have played out for them guys because they was too close and your coach can't be your fan. That's just one thing I gotta say. Coach can't be your fan. But I'll say this. I definitely want to see that fight. Big shouts out to Devin for becoming the WBO champion against a very worthy opponent. I hear some people trying to say that, maybe Brian should fight Lewis Crocker. It's not over for Brian Jr., but I will say he got a long road ahead of him. And I want to ask you guys just before we get out of here, because, we're getting ready for Thanksgiving. I got some stuff to fix around here. But what do you guys think about people constantly criticizing the game plan that Norman Sr. brought to it? I thought it wasn't a good game plan at all. But do you think Brian Jr. should let his dad go as coach? What do you guys say to that?
I think that if Brian Norman Jr. and his father sit down and talk, and they come to the consensus that it's better for him to move on, and his father be the behind-the-scenes guy, much the same as Bill. If he takes that, I don't see nothing wrong with it. But at the end of the day, it has to be a consensus agreement because we got to remember, at the end of the day, we praise the man for getting his son where he got him to. So we can't talk about, he's just trash and he got to go away. He just got beat by a more intelligent, more prepared fighter. That's all.
See, that they're gonna coach again, forgetting about his pedigree. And I always say this to coach all the time, off air. He came under one of the most prepared men in boxing history. That's why you can say that. That's not a given. You know what I mean? That's the one thing I would say. I always tell this to Coach Bernard. He can vouch for me saying this. When you under Gary Sr., you always prepare. You're never gonna get outsmarted because you prepare for everything. And I think if you know that, you for damn sure have a trainer who knows that. Am I wrong to say that? You guys can tell me if I'm wrong to say that. No, but you got,
once again, it's not. I don't pull my punches because I'm friends with somebody.
No, I'm not saying you do. But
No. What I'm saying is when you look at it, Gary Senior had a pedigree of coaching guys to the absolute pinnacle of whatever the sport was, amateur or pro. Brian Norman Sr., that's my guy. But if you just being honest, we only talk about honesty, not on what you were inside as a person. We talk about based on what you were on the record. He was a duck. As a manager, as a coach, he's very good. As a fighter, he was a duck. And you can't. That's not going to change. So maybe he made mistakes because the position that he was fighting his career as was a B-side. But maybe as a coach, he made decisions as if I did everything the opposite. So, you can't compare Gary Russell Sr. in no way, shape, or form. IQ, ability, standard. You can't compare to nothing else because that's the first fighter that Brian Norman Sr. ever really trained that we know of. So we don't know what his standard was. Gary Russell Sr., we know from every fighter that he dealt with, the standard of excellence was being number one. If you came in second place, you did not live up to the standard. Jaleel told you he never got praised. When he came on with national championships, Lil Gary and them be like, what do you want me to praise you for? That's what we're supposed to do. But you didn't think you were going to win it? Now, if you didn't think you were going to win it, tell me you didn't think you were going to win it and I'll praise you. But if you knew what the mission was going in and you secured the mission, then you did your job.
Yeah. And I just think it's just sad because it's the little things. Like, why would you box with a boxer? And you know, me, he gonna be on next week so we can actually talk about this stuff. And yeah, I know he's gonna say I'm not qualified to ask these questions, but I'm gonna ask him anyway. Because I think no matter how you put it, I think, and I say this all the time, fighters only go as far as their teams allow them to go. And I think you got a guy in Brian Jr. who's powerful as heck, who's smart, but has a lot of limitations, and he's got to get with somebody who can enhance his skills. And enhancing his skills is not having him out there trying to box when he's never been a boxer. He can move around a little bit. He moves good for a Mexican, but he don't move good for no slick black nigga fighter. No, he don't. He don't. And just off of prime
That
example
was
like
crazy.
that, the second round for me solidified it, right? So Devin comes in with a feint, and he was reacting to every feint, which you can't do as a power punch. You can't react to no feints for no boxing. Because if nothing can hurt you, nothing can hurt you. But then you cocky enough to not have your hands up, and then you get cracked, bow. It buckles your knees, then you don't put your hands up at all. You still keep them at your waist, bow, you get hit and drop. I'm saying that has to do with coaching. That wasn't Brian, because people don't understand. Whatever you coached on in time of trouble is what you're going to do. And what we seen was a fighter who looked ill-equipped to actually win that fight. And that's just the guy on the shoot. He didn't look like he had a chance. Once he went down, and Prize, you can say if I'm wrong, Free, you can say if I'm wrong, Coach, you can say if I'm wrong. But he just, after that second round, he was done. He took away the jab, which was good work. But, I mean,
He abandoned his whole game, BBO, when Brian went down.
And I got to say this on live and living color. If that was Boots would have really stepped on the gas and got him out of there. That's the problem. You see what I'm saying? And I think sometimes you got to be able to say, just like I say with T.O. T.O. Senior needs to let his son go to somebody else. I was excited about him going with Eddie Reynoso. Sometimes you got to get a different look, because I've always been a huge fan of Gary Russell. You know why Gary Russell didn't win that Lomachenko fight? Because Loma was just a little bit better. Not because he wasn't prepared, not because he didn't know what was going on, because Loma was just a little better. You see what I mean? I can live with that. You know what I mean? But no, I can live with somebody just a little better. But I can't live with I was ill prepared for the whole fight, and I really went in there blind and got my head knocked off. And I can't. And the fight was so bad, there's no redeemable qualities for me to even get a rematch. You see what I'm saying? That's the type of stuff I'm saying for fighters. You can't have it as a fighter. You can't have it to where you look that bad that I can't even say you need a rematch. And that's just the God's honest truth. And I just say, to me, a lot of fighters, it's this old book I used to read. It's called Crisis in Leadership. There's a crisis in boxing trainer leadership. A lot of these guys are nothing more than somebody who put a towel on and can smoke a cigar. And you can tell me if I'm wrong, Coach. That's what it seemed like. A lot of these guys either strength and conditioning coaches, or they some dude who got a little cheese that said they want to train now. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how I look at it. What about you, Coach?
I believe Coach dropped off.
Oh, he dropped.
I believe he dropped off. Yeah.
That's kind of how I see it, man. I feel like, hey, you can tell me if I'm wrong. I feel like a lot of these guys don't be having the right coaching with them.
Yeah, I can dig it.
On that note,
nah,
man, like
it's probably me. I'm driving down North Carolina, so I know I'm going in and out.
Oh no,
I'm driving as well.
Oh yeah, but like I said, we weren't gonna be on long today because it's the holiday.
It's all good.
We're gonna be back Monday. So salute, man, to everybody for coming through. Again, I want to apologize for what Marky said, and in no way will we talking about we never speak about YouTubers on here. And that stuff can't happen, man. So salute to everybody, man, that's supporting the channel. And it's your boy, BBO Sports TV. It's your brother Prize. It's your boy D3. Yeah. And we'll see y'all on Monday, man. We're going to enjoy our holiday, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.